What is going on, everybody? So we have had a absolutely fucking banger of a month last month. GG's to everybody. Shout out to everyone that printed a little bit of money last month. But I wanted to go over a couple of the alerts that I've given you guys this month. I'm just going to go over every single one I've done this month, play it in replay mode so you guys can see exactly what's happening, exactly why I'm taking these trades, and the confluences behind them as well. So I think this will be pretty beneficial for a lot of you. I know this is the type of stuff that really took me to the next level. So this was on the first around 10 a.m. I believe, or 9:30. 018 was our entry. So right there, and then 38 was our stop loss. And TP, I said it's kind of unknown, but I was going to aim for 765. So that was pretty far down, actually. I might have, yeah, 765. I mean, it was definitely possible. I was kind of aiming for this down here. The reason I say that that was very possible was because all of this right here is all super low resistance on the 1 minute. All right, there's not a lot of levels here, and the levels that are here have already been mitigated. So, really, all it needed to do was break this structure, and we would have completely wiped out all of this. Our next real level were these two. So, around that area was my thoughts for the TP. Yeah, absolutely massive RR on this, but it's possible. So we'll play it out and see what exactly happened here. Yeah, it did a lot of moves before we could get tapped in, but we'll see what happens here. Okay. So, really, no real reaction at this level. Again, all of this is also really low resistance. It's a horrible price action, of course. So, definitely not the best conditions to trade in. Not very favorable, but we'll still take it anyways with light risk because it is a level that I would always put risk on every single day out of the week. Great level and huge RR. So, light 20-point stop loss. Um, Really, the reason we got stopped out is because we had swept this liquidity down here. Of course, you have London lows and everything that it wanted. So it took that, did not want to go any further off of this level here. And I believe we, went up after that. So again, with pretty steady, bad price action there. All right, so this was the same day. We just took this one on gold. So this is exactly what happened here. We had this nice 5 minute fair value gap with a inverse fair value gap right here, pretty much lining up with it. We also had this really big move down. And again, my TP on this was close to this level because I did think that we were coming close to this to then push us down further. So sometimes I'll do what's called a contra trade and I will trade against the trend. Only certain cases I do that, but so we had 211.8, or I'm sorry, 219.1. Jeez. 219.1 as the entry, 211.8 as the stop loss, and 270 for the TP. So really, really massive TP here. Let's see what happens. So We get in straight to the trade here. Not very much reaction at this, but sometimes gold does this where it'll blow through levels, disrespect it, um, and then to turn around and go up. So it does do that sometimes. But really, what held us up from falling was this order block right here, this black candle. You can see stayed right within it, did not disrespect that order block. All right, let's see what happens. So we've got this fair value gap here. Go ahead and mark it out. We do not disrespect it technically. Disrespect there. A lot of choppy price action here. Again, not a very good price action day. As you can see, the range is pretty tight. It's really bad. It's not really going anywhere. More consolidation. And again, this was a really tricky trade to hold on to, just because the price action was so bad. I'll play it out. Boom, hits TP for a nice 1-to-7 RR. Now, if you put one mini on this, you would make $5,100 and you're risking $730. So crazy RR right there. Absolutely massive trade. All right, next one. This was on the second. This was a short on NQ. We inversed this fair value gap, and we do have this unmitigated 1 minute down here. I mean, it is barely mitigated, but not fully, so we can still come back down to that. And after seeing this kind of pattern, we go up, go down, up, down. So obviously we're in an uptrend. You have a bullish flag here too, a bull flag. So I know we're continuing up here, but again, sometimes I do like to do these trades, and they do hit pretty well. Where we have a level down here that is unfilled, and if the price is efficient, then it should come back down into this to want to fill it. So we get this disrespect up here of this bullish one, telling me that we could be pushing lower, right? So that's my goal here, is to use this to get pushed lower down to this one. Does a decent move, comes back up, stops us out. So again, shitty market conditions. Just because we have trades that hit the stop loss does not mean that they are bad trades, right? So I could signal a trade like this and we stop loss, and we could have the exact same setup on another trade that I signal to you guys, and then we hit TP. So again, nothing is guaranteed. This is just horrible market conditions, and we just move on. All right, on to this NQ short. This was a banger trade. So obviously we have this big ass consolidation, which is building liquidity in the market. So typically when we see that, we do have a pretty big move come out of it. This, of course, was news. So we had that news candle and then consolidated, chopped out for the whole day, or for the whole night in London session. Then we have this first fair value gap get created here. It's a 5 minute, but I do like to drop to the 1 minute to see if we can get a better entry. So I picked this one right here, just slightly above it. There's a couple reasons why I do that sometimes as well, is I'll put it above. It just kind of depends on, the situation and everything that we have. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we have these levels, but I'm fully expecting these to get disrespected. Sometimes they can come into this one and then boom, hit TP exactly where we want. But again, I take the highest quality setups. So stop loss is above the rest of these pretty much. And I do understand that if we get to this top one here, most likely this one won't hold anyways. It'll keep going past it. It'll be one of these that hold. And the reason is because we broke structure with these candles. So the fair value gaps that you see that break structure here, this one, boom, break structure. And you can see as well, there is a couple order blocks here. Oops, wrong one. Delete that. So we've got this order block here. This is exactly why my entry is where it's at. We could take the middle of it. Again, sometimes I want to give us the absolute highest quality stuff and get tapped in on the tick. That's my goal. Sniper entries. Let's see what we get. Takes a while. Boom, taps us in. And I want to note something as well. That other NQ short I just went over had the same kind of deal. And we got stopped out on it. And it looked very similar to this. So again, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But it is a pretty high chance it will with good price action. So pretty bad start here, not great. Then we start getting these moves. So why all of a sudden do we just get these power moves through this? Because again, this is all low resistance liquidity. You see there's no levels in here. It's just chop and wicks. So we get boom, big volume. Yeah, and the full TP was at 803 for a runner, which left us with a 1 to 8 RR. TP1, I believe, was 895. So right about here. TP1. And then TP2 was 876. So right at these lows just about. And then of course TP3 is here, but right at about 800. So TP1 is still a 1 to 3.6 RR. TP2 gives you a 1 to 4.6. And then of course TP3 gives you about a 1 to 8. So boom, TP1 was easy, no retracements. This thing literally went straight to TP1. Boom, straight to TP2. A little bit of a retracement, and bang. Insane trade, guys. That was, what, 600 ticks, I believe? Yeah, 672 ticks. Pretty solid. Alrighty, this was the 8th. So on a Thursday, gold shorts, 377.8 was the entry, 388.5 was the SL, and 308.7 right there was our TP. So 1 to 6. Yeah, we did need a bigger stop loss here because we have this 1 hour fair value gap. Inside of that, we have a 15-minute fair value gap. And inside of that, we have a 5-minute right here, and then a 5-minute order block right here. So that's what I wanted my entry off of, was the 1 hour with the order block there. Just a touch below the CE of the fair value gap. All right, let's see what we get. So we barely get missed here. I think it played the 15. Yeah, it played a little bit higher of the 15, but so we got missed, and then re-entry. Let's play this out just a tad. Actually, re-entry was 365.5. So it was after this inverse, I'm pretty sure. Yep. All right, so this was the re-entry off of the 5-minute inverse. 365.5. Yep, so there's a 1 minute fair value gap right here, a 1 minute inverse up here, a little bit above, but still inside of that 5 minute inverse. And then, of course, there's another 5 minute fair value gap here with EMA. So super, super high confluence trade. Obviously, we've already tapped into the original level I was looking for. So I saw this reaction and knew that we were not coming back. All right. 365.5, 369 was the SL. So a lot smaller of an SL here because we've already made that big move. And TP1 was 355.8. And I wanted to give you guys an easier TP, even though the original one was down here at 308 or wherever it was, 304. It still could come back down there. But 355.8 was our first TP. Just gave you about a 1 to 3. And TP2 was 342.5. So for the ones that like to take profit a little bit early, I gave you an easy out. Oops. And then for the people that like to hold a little bit longer with me, I gave you a nice level. Almost a 1 to 7 there. Let's see what happens. All right. Got in. EMA held us. Some nice moves down here. And I believe 355.8. Okay, so we're still not at TP1. Okay, TP1 smashed. Boom, there's full TP. And then just to show you, let's see if it ever made it to where I was thinking of at first. The full TP on the first entry was 308.7. Right here. So if this fully hits, 1 to 16 risk to reward. Look at that. 1 to 16, guys. And you guys are paying $8 fucking a month. I don't know what else to tell you. Massive trades, but I'm going to cut the video out here. It was awesome going over this for you guys. I thought I would be able to put all of them in one video, but we're about 18 minutes on the recording, so I'll cover other ones in a couple of other videos, but for now, this should be plenty of stuff for you guys to go over, back test, and kind of understand the confluences behind the trades. So hope you guys had a great trading week, and let's kill it on this upcoming week.